Okay, so the Māori electorates are a big story. It was just a bloodbath out there for Labour, wasn't it?
I was just revelling on the fact that Mark just called me Wikipedia. And I'm just trying to work through that. No, yes, look, I was, love Lara. Some of the things I would challenge on that. I think that, Nanaia Mahuta does have a legacy, but I don't think people voted against Nanaia. I think people voted for the new movement. And if you are working out there in Te Ao Māori and with whānau order and any of the hau order and in the kura and the schools and stuff, you actually would have noticed the movement of Te Pāti Māori. It was big, it was strong, it was bold. It's everything that Rawiri talks about, unapologetically Māori. They had a massive TikTok, Instagram campaign, and 70%, as Rawiri said, of Māori are under 40. So I think they just hit home, and I think the next election they'll be even bigger.
Yeah, this is interesting, isn't it? Is the trajectory of that party. It was decimated, it's been building back this term. Now there's this generational shift going on, which could be very powerful, Dita, when we turn up on the knocking on the doorstep of 2026.
I think that's true. I commend the Māori Party. I think they did very well. But they can be unapologetic about things like co-governance, and that's where they attracted the vote, people who are very pro-governance. Labour has a more difficult task in that they have to sell co-governance to non-Māori New Zealanders, and they failed in that. But that is a harder task, and I don't believe that. I think the Māori Party need the left bloc to see their dreams come to fruition. So I think although they're unapologetic and they're very insular and they're very pro themselves, and as they should be, they do have to work with the left bloc, because this is not the cynical, pragmatic key government that's going to reach out to the Māori Party. They've actually, positioned themselves in a way that they're not going to.
Yeah, well, they have really leaned into this activist energy in order to boost their profile during this parliamentary term. But actually now, do they have to do something different? I don't know if they will or not. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. But it's a different proposition that they're in now with more MPs. It's a different phase that the party is entering. Do you think, Mark?
Yeah, it is, totally. Just going back on that, though, I think we've seen, generational change here with Ferris and Mapapi Clark, who I really liked this morning. I was listening to her on the radio, and she was saying, she had a sense of humour. She talked about what the petrol bill was for driving all around that electorate. Yes. And I just think there's a freshness there. It's generational. But it's now up to Ngāwiwa Paka and Rawiri to really mould this into a real party. Yes. I don't know.
I think you describe them as a new activist energy, and they'll probably love that. But the people who are in Te Pāti Māori probably wouldn't see themselves as activists. They would just see themselves as te tiriti-centric, living every day as Māori, for Māori, doing all those kinds of things. So I think that's interesting. I think that also, I agree with you, Dita, that the Labour Party didn't explain some of those really important and kind of icky kaupapa because they're too difficult to explain, but also we didn't as journalists and media either. We weren't very good at explaining. And I think as a country, we're always, social change is happening. It takes us a little while to get our heads around, like, what is co-governance? I don't even know myself. But actually, co-governance is everything we're doing. I'm working in co-governance with Mark sometimes, I'm here with you doing co-governance. It's everywhere, and I think you're right, it was explained poorly and they've paid for it.